Welcome to WebStylePress. As a web developer or software engineer, you are already a smart person. You just have to be conscious about tools you use and how you use them. You probably sit in front of computer for more than 9 hours per day, doing tedious repetitive tasks all the time. Here is a tip for you to make your life easier. Use a good code editor and make best use of it. Look at how can you improve, automate and accelerate whatever you do using it by putting in little effort. Use Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code can do a lot for you in the background. It can automate tasks, it can add cross browser and cross platform compatibility in code that you write, it can help you collaborate with other colleagues in real time. It has got amazing visual enhancements in shape of themes, icons, and more. It has extensions that help you in each aspect of coding experience. I will show you briefly how small things can be taken care of by using Visual Studio Code easily. I will go with this CSS first. Look at this SAS file, custom.scss. I'm clicking here, watch SAS. And now this file is being watched. I will get CSS file and its minified version as well by just saving this file. So as I save this SCSS file, it gives me its CSS output and minified version of CSS by using extension Live SAS Compiler. Click here extensions and Live SAS Compiler. Search it and here is the Live SAS Compiler. This is a beautiful extension for CSS, for SAS, and to minify CSS. Visual Studio Code gives me cross-browser compatible code by using CSS prefixes automatically. Again, Live SAS Compiler extension does this in background. This is my file. I'm writing CSS here. Look at this flex raw and flex call. Look at this CSS reset, box sizing border box, and then Live SAS Compiler gave me this output, custom.css file. And you see this is the extra code here that Visual Studio Code applied by using Live SAS Compiler. And here WebKit transition, WebKit transition, this prefix was added by Live SAS Compiler. And as you can see here as well, these extra properties and this property, this is for cross-browser compatibility, and Live SAS Compiler helped me apply this code by itself. So it is making my CSS code cross-browser compatible, so I don't have to worry about it. In this way, web page styling remains consistent across different web browsers. I don't have to take care of it manually by myself. Visual Studio Code helps me write clean code. Look at this. If I remove this value from here, you can see this one error here. And if I remove this curly bracket and apply bracket here, you can see now we have got 3 errors. If I mistakenly use empty CSS rules or use wrong syntax, it warns me and points me at the line where error exists. So this panel is displaying where I did a mistake in the document. Click at the warning and it will take you to the mistake. here. And if I remove it and apply correct syntax, that warning will be gone. And if I click at here, do not use empty rule sets. So here was this empty line, height 100%, and now that warning is gone. So this problems panel highlights the lines with errors and warnings. Fix errors and error message will go away. Also, Visual Studio Code has got terminal, built-in terminal. If I work with Node.js or React.js, I can type commands and run in this directory or for currently opened file right from my code editor instead of opening separate terminal window provided by operating system. This is very useful and helpful. You can watch files that can be watched and see output right from code editor. Right now, SCSS file is being watched and it's showing me exactly that. If I will change this file and I will save this file, it will show me the progress, that which file was changed, and it will show me the output and which files were modified in my project. And you see this outline panel, click at that and you can see this something like this in left sidebar. It can help me navigate to any area of currently open document with ease. While working with JavaScript, this panel plays even more important role. If I click at, let's say, this property, flex raw, it will take me to that line. So if I'm in JavaScript file, you can see all these methods here that are related to this document. Let's say if I want to access this function, move to top, I will click at it, it will navigate to that function. So this outline panel is also very important for currently opened document. Code recognition and syntax highlighting is another important feature. This document is SCSS document and code editor is recognizing it. You see this SCSS link here at the bottom. Click at it and here you can specify that Visual Studio Code should auto detect the language, or you can select the language and help it recognize the code so that it can properly highlight the syntax and code. This is called language selection mode. You can manually switch language or technology from here to help code editor recognize your code. Once it recognizes it, it will apply proper syntax highlighting to the code. Find all and replace is a feature that you probably already know. Press Ctrl F and click here. You can find words or functions or phrases and you can replace all those found words with the words that you type in this input field, and by clicking here, replace all. Very useful feature. Its search feature is also helpful. Right click at any folder and click find in folder. Type anything that you want to look for or search for in all files in that folder, and it will find the files and location for the term in actual file. You can search class name or JavaScript function name, by using this or anything else, it will find it. Doesn't matter the size of project. This is the quickest and easy way to find anything in your project. And you can create your custom code snippets and call these by using their name in any file. Let's say if I create a new file and I will type snip, and I have got these snippets. If I click at snip-html, this is my snippet that I saved earlier for later use. And if I click at this flex HTML, I will get this code. These snippets are like templates that you use repeatedly. It saves a lot of time. You can define these custom snippets and use these later for your convenience. Preferences, user snippets. File preferences, user snippets. And I've got this file, my snippet code, my snippets.code snippets. These are my snippets. I can call these snippets by names mentioned here. This is a snippet, and then this is another snippet. You can create these easily. I have already created a tutorial on creating snippets for Visual Studio Code. I will link that tutorial in the description as well. Then we have got custom settings for user. You can define rules for extensions and code editor itself from there. Click at this setting icon and then you can click at settings, and here you can see extensions that are installed. Click at any extension to see its settings, and you can select, check or uncheck settings, several settings for the installed extensions from here. Or you can click at this open settings JSON user defined settings. These are my settings. You can place your settings here for Visual Studio Code or for any extension. These settings will make your life easier when you will work with Visual Studio Code. Then we have got this JavaScript file. Look at these icons, warning icon and this cross icon. While working with JavaScript or any other language, it can recognize errors and warnings. This Visual Studio Code, it will show you red squiggly lines underneath code that is wrong for some reason. Let's say I will use this just question sign here. As you can see, this has turned red. This file name has turned red. A squiggly red line appeared below here, and if I hover over it, you will see something, some message here like declaration or statement expected, and then here click at this cross or warning sign and go to this problems area, and you will see that same message here, declaration or statement expected. If I am somewhere else in this file and I click at this error message, it will take me to the same line. It says that there is something wrong here. So Visual Studio Code helps you write clean code. Then Visual Studio Code has got extensions. Doesn't matter what you are doing in Visual Studio Code, it has got relevant extension for that. These are the extensions, installed extensions that I am using. These are recommended extensions, and there are free extensions for Python, JavaScript, CSS, Django, C++, minification, syntax highlighting, for JSON, for PHP, for HTML, Vue.js, React.js, Angular, WordPress, Docker, Svelte, and more. Make sure you search a relevant extension for your tech stack, and you will find useful Visual Studio Code extensions to help you code easily. You will find themes here, you will find icon themes here, You just cannot beat Visual Studio Code in this feature. These are powerful extensions that make your work faster and accurate. And as you can see, this is the theme that I'm using, and this is bracket pair colorizer. This extension is useful and it colorizes these brackets and adds more simplicity to syntax highlighting. And I have got this .env extension, and this is the theme Dracula official for React and Redux, GraphQL, React Native. I have got the snippet extension, and I have got extension for HTML, for TypeScript, for SAS. I have got live server, material icons, minify, for JSON, for path intelligence. Prettier is also a good extension. For Python, I've got some extensions. For Vue.js, I've got extension for WordPress, for Angular, Bootstrap, ESLint. So know your tools that you use and learn all the best features it offers to make you more productive in less time. By using Visual Studio Code and learning how to make best use of it, you can become more productive, efficient, and you will write clean code. So all these tips were related to only one tool, that is Visual Studio Code. Use Visual Studio Code and then know how to use it properly. And also, if you enable an extension, if you install an extension, you will have to enable it from here. You can enable, disable it, and also read these instructions. Sometimes it is not enough to only enable an extension. You'll have to read the instructions, and sometimes you'll have to give instructions or apply some settings, custom settings, to make that extension work properly. For example, you can use this extension that is for React Redux, and it has got snippets for React, but those snippets won't work automatically. You will have to use these codes to create the code or snippet to get the snippet that you need. So installing extensions only is not enough. You will have to read what that extension needs in order to work. So that's that. Thanks for watching this video, and like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video.